Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, unless you're watching this with closed caption on, in which case, whatever they decided to call me this time. And by the way, no, not a clickbait title, that is exactly what they did, except one little caveat, everything I say in this article is just my opinion, and it's suspicion, and it's evidence, and it's only theories, it's not proven or admitted by Wizards of the Coast, so take it for what it is, and just look at the evidence, and the conclusions I draw are only my own and not necessarily meant to be taken as absolute truth. That said, speaking of the evidence, it really seems to point one direction. And unfortunately, most of this research was done by Kotaku. They're awful, and I'm not going to link to their stupid article because their website needs to go down in flames as soon as possible. And it is, by the way. So this example was part of a very large article about how esports and its viewership are kind of dying and what people are doing to prop up the numbers a little bit, as the title says. So you know how Wizards have been pitching the whole, oh, watch the Mythic Championship, it's going to be huge, watch the stream, oh my gosh, live stream, you must watch this live stream or we will murder this puppy. Watch the live stream or we'll let Mark Rosewater design the next 3 sets. Watch the live stream or we'll print brand new slivers. Clearly not enough people watched it. So an inside source, allegedly, that they've vetted, I guess, but requested to remain anonymous because of their job and wanting to keep it for some reason, they stated that allegedly this event was being pitched to advertisers as having 100,000 viewers. That was their estimate. During the first part of it, it did not. It was in fact a lot closer to 20,000. But according to multiple sources, Wizards had a backup plan. So bad news for, I guess, HP Omen. I think they were the sponsor of it. I don't know. Clearly, I didn't watch the damn tournament. I'd rather rip out my teeth one at a time with the rusty players than watch a bunch of entitled rich assholes who don't deserve to be there all compete for way too much money while bashing white men and straight people. F*** you, Autumn, you f***ing racist. It would appear that a lot of people shared my opinion of watching that live stream because they did not. So according to Kotaku's very carefully and accurately gotten statistics, the first bit of the tournament only had about 20,000 concurrent viewers, which is pretty good, actually, in my opinion, but it was not 100,000. It was described as typical for an event like this, though. And, I mean, 20,000 ain't bad. But if you think about it, I've gotten upwards of 1,000 on my live streams. It's me just talking shit about net decks and cloning hexproof creatures while taunting my opponents. Hit the notification bell if you're into that kind of thing. Oh, and for the record, I play better than the vast majority of the people that were on this live stream. But by the time the afternoon rolled around at local time on the Mythic Championship, suddenly they hit 88,000 people. And yet, according to automated statistics, we are talking actual computer tracking algorithms, the Twitch chat volume did not increase. Not significantly, not 400%. Now remember, they have it on lockdown. I do believe it's still subscribers only, last I heard. So random members of the public cannot participate, but still it should have scaled up. I mean, people suddenly watching it more, X percentage of them are subscribers on Twitch. So according to a allegedly vetted source who wants to remain anonymous, like I said, shocking, I know, the very large sudden increase was not a surprise to anyone. I mean, they stopped just short of saying that was the plan all along. It was a backup plan to basically bot or fake views. But, I mean, maybe that is what they said, and Kotaku just didn't want to print that verbatim. But they also mentioned that they thought it was a little weird that it was being pitched to, like, HP Omen or whatever as hitting a high number like 100,000 based on historical viewership of the game. Because remember, this ain't even the first major tournament they've pushed pretty hard. So, one, they thought, we're never going to hit that. And two, they knew about a plan to try to hit that. That's what they seem to be saying. So, the exact phrasing is the tournament stream could have been embedded in hundreds of websites across the internet that are all affiliated with the company Curse. We've all heard of Curse Client. I think they have their own browser. I don't know that much about them, but I've heard of them and I've seen them. But obviously, just like Discord, they have their own ad network that they can sell ads on. And one of their services, and this is verified. Now, did Wizards use this? Did they have evidence that Wizards did this? No. Does anybody have an explanation for how Wizards did this? No, other than this. You put 2 and 2 together. All we really need is one single witness saying, yeah, I saw it on a Curse website. Yeah, the live stream just popped up and autoplayed. Spoiler alert, that's allegedly how they did it, but it gets worse because this is like some shady crap. This isn't like Russian bot farms on servers using virtual machines and hacked computers to bot views, okay? That's like straight up view botting. This is almost within Twitch's guidelines, I would assume. So one of Curse's properties, or it's one of their parent company's properties, is Gamepedia. Perhaps you've heard of it. And according to Cloudflare statistics, they get about 1 billion views per month on Gamepedia. And Gamepedia does like a lot of wiki pages for games and stuff. Honestly, the Magic one's not bad. So let's say a user happens to be visiting one of the wikis, and well, they own the website so they can run their own ads that they sold through their own ad network. You see where I'm going with this? So they just host the Twitch live stream in like a little pop-up window, like a little iframe or something. I'm old. It's probably not an iframe. It's probably some kind of HTML5 embedded thing. So yes, it is an actual human viewer. They are actually in a legitimate web page, and they are technically sort of watching. I mean, watching might be a little generous. They are actively streaming the Twitch channel, and eventually they'll count as view after however many seconds Twitch has for their threshold. But are they really paying attention to it? That's the question. So once, allegedly, Wizards of the Coast may have flipped the switch and said, yeah, turn it on, get us some more views. That would explain why the viewership just absolutely took off all of a sudden all at once. And the data and statistics gathered by Kotaku's parent company, Go Media, seems to indicate that it went way up. It was very abrupt, and it wasn't accompanied by any comment traffic increase. They may or may not have had access to statistics that said where the sources were coming from. I can't imagine how they would do that, but I also don't know that much about Twitch. So the final conclusion, as they put it, is it's questionable whether tens of thousands of those views truly represent engaged humans watching the stream, which is exactly how I would put it as well. And shockingly, Wizards of the Coast did not respond to Kotaku's request for comment on this situation, which is funny because Wizards and Kotaku really seem to get along. They're both far left liberal nut job companies, so they're just two peas in a pod. But, if you call or email them and you're like, did you bot 60,000 views? They tend to say no comment or just not. I mean, that would be my thought. So, Curse seems to be on the up and up. People have heard of it. It's not like malware or anything. They don't necessarily have too bad of a reputation. Would they actually openly and publicly advertise that they provide like live stream exposure boosting or whatever they want to call their not engaged user botting? I mean, they're humans, not bots. I shouldn't call it that, but I mean, come on. Well, as it turns out, yes, because Kotaku claims that they have 5 sources on this who have all in the past worked with Curse. Oh, and get this, and Twitch, who previously owned Curse Media. What? That's news to me. And some of these sources worked with like esports events, planning them, whatever, and they have used Curse's services and confirmed that Curse offers a reach for live streams through its network and its advertising on multiple sites, and it guarantees views. They are just like, we will sell you views for your live stream, even though that's probably a violation of Twitch's guidelines. I mean, like I said, they are humans and they're kind of watching it. It's on screen. Doesn't mean they're looking at it, but like, bare minimum, it's gray area. But damn well they're taking money for it. Just saying. I mean, they're saying it's a service they offer. You can buy it. 5 sources saying that, and that they've done it before. And this isn't even the first time that they've been, I guess, accused of doing it. Like, I should say other esports events have been accused of using the service because obviously it's pretty well confirmed that they offer the service. And Kotaku even investigated this in the past. So in that study, I guess they thought it was happening in the past, and then they tried to investigate it for future events, and they found that the embedded live streams, the autoplay window from Twitch that's embedded in the websites, were at the very bottom of long encyclopedic wiki entries, as they put it, on the website Gamepedia, where they were not immediately visible. So they were like rendered and loaded, but off the page. They weren't even in the window pane that the user was looking at unless they read all the way to the bottom of the article and scrolled all the way down. So it was auto-playing, and it's very possible that the human never actually saw it. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's just using their browser to watch it. That is view botting. And back then it was the same thing. Disproportionately scaled chats, where all of a sudden the viewership skyrocketed, but the chat volume stayed the same. Now, Kotaku themselves and the reps from Geo Media, the parent company, do say that it is impossible with their access to statistics and tracking and stuff to determine if the views are actually like fake, botted, manipulated, whatever. So they can't confirm it. It just really looks that way. It's been an advertised service, and they looked into how it appears to work. I mean, clearly they're just in cover your ass mode, just like I am legally for this. So it's not absolutely verified, guys, that Wizards did this, but looks pretty bad. As if they needed more evidence, 3 other Twitch experts or former employees of Twitch were interviewed by Kotaku, and they all said that they think that this scenario is junk views too, with their knowledge of how this type of thing works. So guys, I can't draw a conclusive conclusion and actually accuse Wizards of the Coast of doing this, because then they might sue me. But I feel like if they did, as soon as it goes to discovery, I'd be at Mark Rosewater's house digging through his fridge. I might have to have a helicopter drop little individual leaflets, all of which are individual subpoenas, for information about what you guys did to get your viewership so high. You know, and I'd have to have an entire copy of every single expenditure you made this entire year to see if you paid Gamepedia. You know what? Maybe you should sue me. That'd be a fun little adventure for everybody, wouldn't it? But no, guys, we don't have any conclusive evidence, and I'm not drawing any hard conclusions in this video. For the record, all Curse said in their statement was, no, these are real humans and they're really watching. We can't explain why the chat didn't scale up, and Kotaku says they have no explanation either. It's on subscriber mode only, so if you're looking up some anime titty game wiki and you come across the live stream and you're like, oh, what's this? Oh, I used to play Magic. Oh, that's cool. You literally can't participate in the chat because you'd have to be a paid subscriber to the live stream. So that actually would explain it. But yeah, he said something to the effect of like, he was confident that they were like click through actual views, like, or people were at least pausing long enough to view it or something, but he didn't really say why or how he can prove that. That wasn't exactly anybody else's take. Like, for example, Kotaku's last time they investigated this and looked into services that Curse sells. So, yeah, interesting. But yeah, he did technically deny it. Oh, by the way, later in the article, I don't know why they said, oh, it's just a theory that maybe they use this network, and then Kotaku literally shows a screenshot of the Dota 2 wiki with a banner ad of the Twitch stream for Magic the Gathering Arena, the Mythic Championship, playing right there. So they did do that. Boy, they're really trying to walk the minefield of getting sued by Wizards, even though they know they're right. While I'm sitting there doing cartwheels through it, you can sue D's Nuts Wizards. Yeah, send all cease and desist to D's Nuts, 123 Go F Yourself Street. I'm on the International Space Station. I hope you got a lot of stamps. Oh my gosh, there's actually another screenshot of the Twitch stream being embedded in Gamepedia's homepage. Or, Gamepedia's loading page in the Curse client, it looks like. Boy, that's gotta cost a premium. I mean, a view is a view, and the whole point is you don't care about the source, but that's interesting, is if they put it there, maybe somebody would click off it because it's just like, oh, I open Curse and, oh, what's this? Like, maybe the point was to get people to actually click on it. Maybe the intent wasn't to completely bot views, but there was like a wink, nod, we know what you're doing. So, like, this might not be quite as shady as it looks, but it's still, I mean, I think at the end of the day, they knew what they were doing. They know what this is about. I mean, it was on the Dota 2 wiki. If somebody's there, they're looking up something about Dota 2, okay? They don't give a shit about Arena. So a lot of the rest of the article is just, yeah, people have been, inflating views since the beginning of esports, and it's a really interesting article. It's written by Cecilia was that like Italian? De Anastasio? I think that is Italian. So Cecilia, bomb-ass reporter, doing the freaking hard work on this one, doing some baller-ass research. Appreciate that. Going out there, doing good work, spreading the truth. Appreciate it. And Wizards, stop botting views, allegedly. Stop allegedly botting allegedly views, you dicks. Oh, pardon me, I misspoke. They're allegedly dicks. So, somebody maybe forward this to HP, like their sales reps and marketing people for the Omen line, maybe? I mean, yeah, I bash on them, but still. I think they'd be interested in this, might maybe demand a refund, and that is exactly what should happen, in my opinion. And like I said earlier, if you want to watch an Arena live stream that isn't complete ass and is all about just having fun and like messing with people and playing fun decks and coming up with fun deck ideas and crap, and I got the world's most bomb-ass soundboard, hit subscribe and then hit that notification bell. And hey, if it's self-promotion time, check out my Teespring store. Got some totally epic t-shirts. And make sure you watch my next video because it's about somebody who tried to wear my t-shirt to a very large tournament. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say it didn't go unnoticed. I mean, hell, I worked at the gas station one time and somebody just about lost their shit. They're like, wait a minute. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to watch that next zinger coming up, and I will see you guys next video.